As I stray further from home, I'm starting to feel a real cold sense of isolation. After finding evidence of wreckages either caused by conflict or accident, I am once again faced with the truth that losing my ship out here may as well be a death sentence. There is somebody always looking, she would say. Always the optimist. The journey to the heart and soul will take me at least another day, should I not find a shiny penny or other distraction. My hope is to make good progress, though every system I jump into, I find myself scrutinizing the scanner data for longer and longer, pondering whether any of these marbles have great secrets, what rare materials they may have, what fantastic landscapes I'm leaving behind unseen. I took one such indulgence, finding a tiny world which exhibited large protruding mountains and great plains. I toured one such area before settling down in order to find another type of shining artifact, polonium. Not so much an artifact, but this time my luck was not so good. It took me roughly 20 kilometers of driving before I found my first deposit. Not surprisingly though, I do understand a bit of physics, and it's my understanding that polonium is extremely rare due to its radioactivity. It simply isn't stable, and so they're hard to get hold of outside of nuclear separation facilities. However, it is that radioactivity which helps boost the frameshift drive's performance by over 100%. With my ASP, that would mean a jump of over 100 light years. To make a single jump that far, it makes me think of isolation in a far more dangerous manner, jumping way beyond the reach of regular frameshift drives. As I move closer and closer to the heart and soul, it is evident I am approaching a bright cluster of stars, a mix of O and B class stars in a stellar nursery. Such locations tend to have a wealth of metal-rich worlds and abundance of asteroids. On the way to the cluster, I decided to visit an ice world. Scanners indicated it had fairly high iron content, and on approach, it was fairly obvious why. It had beautiful orange europalines, most likely iron-rich deposits within their icy crystal structure. I descended to the surface and guided my ship through one of the wider lines, revealing a rough structure of deep orange. I had taken a small break in order to read some of the news which had been mounting in my database since before I left. When I read, my mind starts to wander, but my mood had been good. Mostly good, at least. It felt like I was coming to terms with the war. Only a week into my trip and I already felt quite amazing, to be fair. The universe had delighted me with black holes and beautiful landscapes. I'd flown past brilliant blue gas giants with deep, rich colours, orbited by moons with enormous impact craters. The universe delighted me again with a black hole embedded within a tiny blue nebula. I spent some time mesmerized and confused by the warping of space-time. I orbited it for a fairly long time, taking in huge amounts of sensor data. Maybe scientists back home could find something interesting or useful from the occasional gamma ray that lit up my sensors. But not wanting too much of a radiation dose, I evidently had to move on. My resting place, however, was truly something special. I would remain here for some time, collecting even more sensor data, survey mapping, everything I possibly could, because I'd found an Earth-like world, never visited or looked upon by human eyes. I looked out at the heart and soul. The nebula called me.